Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum has shown some movement to the upside, nothing substantial yet. We haven't broken yet, or at least not sustained above the August 24 high. So we're still locked in this sideways range, but Ethereum might start to break higher, at least in the short term. Before we dive further into the microstructures, I'd say let's take a quick look at the daily chart, which gives you a good idea of where we are. And you can immediately see that this rally looks promising, yeah? And it does kind of look promising, so it could indicate that we're now moving up in this third wave, which I'm also tracking on the smaller time frame. But as I said from the beginning, it will be difficult to confirm a low for Ethereum, yeah, to be very precise about it, because as we've known for a while, I think since March or so, April, this move here is a diagonal pattern at best, okay? So the move up from the June low 22 is a diagonal pattern at best, which means it is difficult to be very, I don't want to say precise, but it's difficult to confirm a low very early, which is always why I show you the daily chart as well for these support areas, these trading areas that can be used for scaling in. Because what I explained to you in some of the last updates as well is that if this move up is the fifth wave, it would be an A, B, C structure. And A waves can be 5-wave movements. If we get a 5-wave move, it would be, let's say, clearly bullish. Sometimes, however, the A wave is only a 3-wave move, actually quite frequently, and the A wave would then not be clearly bullish. At least we don't know, right? And we would have an A wave here and then get a B wave pullback here, which is deep, which will shake a lot of people out. Then we might get a C wave from there. And it's going to be difficult, right? That's what this structure is. So it makes sense to understand what is and has been for quite some time the stable element on this chart. And it's this support area between 1790 and 2457. It's been holding again, you know, it's been holding. And it's generated some nice reverses. And the trend line is also still holding here, the green trend line. And what I highlighted here already months ago, ideally holds here. That's still holding, right? So from that point of view, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's difficult to, let's say, predict on the smaller time frame what exactly is happening or is going to happen. And it's also difficult to, yeah, let's say put meaning to every small microstructure here, right? I'm saying that because people are interested in the micro, I know that. But the problem is, the risk is if you are and you're losing sight of the bigger picture, maybe because you're bearish on the short term, which is still a possibility because there's, you know, until we get 5 waves up, this structure is super fragile, right? So it could easily test the support area again. But if the risk is if you get bearish on the shorter time frame and you don't understand that the larger time frame is bullish, and we're still, even though it's a messy chart, but it's still bullish as long as we're holding the orange support area, and we're still watching for one more high in this cycle, then the problem is you might not be able to use this opportunity that's presented itself, right? That's the thing. Even though, as I said to you before, Ethereum has not yet seen or shown that strength compared to Bitcoin that we've seen in previous cycles and that a lot of people expected. Now, I don't necessarily expect Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin long term. Well, if the data shows it, happy to change my view. What I'm watching for though, and this is due at some point, and we go to the ETH BTC chart, yeah? What I'm watching for is that Ethereum, at least in the short term, does outperform Bitcoin at some point, but there's no data yet to support it. So on the ETH BTC chart, that B wave could certainly start at some point. And it might have started already. That's due, okay? But it would require some evidence to really confirm this is happening. I mean, all we see at the moment is a bit of a green candle there, right? So it is possible that B wave bounce has started. I'm just saying that because Bitcoin dominance has taken a hit as well. So ETH BTC would likely go up, but it would be the early stages, so too early to confirm. So just wanted to highlight that. I also highlighted before that if we get an all-time high, this fifth wave would need to be extended somehow because the wave 4 is so deep and the third wave wasn't very long. So the fifth wave ideally would be extended to get to 5,727 plus. So that's the overall assumption, bigger picture, bullish against 1790 on the daily time frame. Looking at the smaller time frame, this is where we get this dilemma here, where we just can't be, let's say, clearly bullish overall until we get this 5-wave pattern that I've just shown you on the larger time frame, right? But as I said, we might not see a 5-wave pattern. It could still be bullish. I hope that's somewhat clear. Therefore, it kind of makes sense to go to the time frame that's somewhat clear, which is here the smallest time frame, where we say, okay, we might have a 5-wave move up. There's no confirmation it's finished yet. Yesterday I shared with you we have a potential 5-wave move up, even though it's an ugly one. It's potentially bullish, and we can watch for support right into this support area. I'm watching if the wave 1 finished. It hasn't clearly given us that indication yet, but if the wave 2, so again in the bullish count, as I just showed you on the daily chart, we would have a B wave low here on the 4th of November. This here looks like a 5-wave move up, even though it's ugly. Any further break above 2,880 would indicate that it's just an extension of this wave 1. Someone asked me in the comments, so you expect a pullback? This is the wrong way of thinking about it. I'm not expecting a pullback. I'm simply showing you support, right? So it's a risk area. That's all we do. We understand what the structure is. That means we have to allow the price to give us a pullback into that area. And even if it does, it wouldn't change this structure, right? But the price doesn't have to give us a pullback in wave 2, not yet, okay? At some point, yes, but there's no must. Okay, the price must not do this. And it's all about understanding, okay, this is risk. Traders think about risk and reward all the time, right? So the potential bullish structure here in white isn't gonna become less probable until we break below support, which is now at 2,462. So that's the way, that's how we need to think about it. I'm not saying to you a wave 2 is starting or has started. It's about we're in an uptrend locally. If there is a deep pullback, this will be the area where we can look for support, and which could also be a pullback trade setup at the same time. This is the risk area. You know, these are the risk levels, because if anybody was going to long up here, I mean, well, you have to understand that the price could easily retrace into that support area, whereas opening a long trade here is much lower risk because we're much closer to the invalidation point, which is always the beginning of the wave 1, which is down here at 2,354. So that's the update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.